Maybe new.
All right. This one's 2 seconds long, but this is the recap of the first 2 hours and 45 minutes of Raw. No buys. Been a long time since we used that one.
It was not a good show for the most part.
Yeah.
Should we start?
No buys. I'm going to use that throughout this review.
All right.
Go ahead.
Show opened with Bret Hart and Teddy Long coming out. They plugged the Viewer's Choice Raw. Bret said the guys in the Raw 4-way match would all compete tonight, and we, the fans, would decide their opponents. Teddy started to mention Randy Orton. His music hit. He came out with his arm in a sling.
No buys. That's where it started.
Just that he came out?
Yes.
Well, how about the fact that he came out with his arm in a sling, but still dressed to wrestle?
Yeah.
That was stupid. So he said if Edge was going to take him out, he wanted to take Edge with him. He wanted a match with Edge tonight. Edge interrupted, said, hey, let's give Randy what he wants so I can finish what I started. Teddy whispered in Bret's ear. So Bret said they were going to let everyone in the arena decide. Teddy said Edge would face Orton in a debate, a sit-up contest, in which case I believe Edge would have been fucked, or a one-armed contest with Edge's arm tied behind his back. Edge is not cool with this. Crowd chooses the one-arm match, which was...
No buys.
It was.
I wanted to see the verbal debate.
Or a sit-up contest. Either of these would have been more fun.
Yes.
So he also... so we got the one-arm match, and then Teddy Long also announced we would get Jericho versus Show in an over-the-top rope challenge, a submission match, or a body slam challenge.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Body slam challenge.
So we got Show versus Jericho. Here was the voting, everyone. Battle Royal, 11%. Submission match, 41%.
Yes.
Or body slam challenge, 48%. More than 2 out of 5 people wanted to see these men in a submission battle.
Hey, I determined watching the show that there was a portion of the audience that wanted to see grappling on Raw.
I guess so.
They chose a match here. They chose Kozlov versus Santino in a match, and they chose the women's title versus title match.
I guess so.
These people wanted grappling.
Yes, well, body slam challenge was like grappling. So, I don't care what anyone says. I love this match. Show beat up Jericho for a while. He was too big for Jericho to do anything. Jericho snapped his arm on the ropes, worked him over for a bit, and he went for a body press, and Show caught him, looked around, horked him up, and body slammed him. And everyone went, yay! And then, just to make sure Show did everything he could, he also put him in the colossal clutch, and Jericho submitted, and then Show threw him over the top rope. So he won all 3 stipulations.
It sucks to be Jericho.
He was put over. I enjoyed this segment a lot. We had we were told there would be a match with the tag team champions later. We were given 3 options to vote for: the Usos, the Dude Busters, or Great Khali and Hornswoggle. And my first thought was the Usos had better pray they win. And their first thought was their first words were, the Hearts better pray they lose. So, there you go. The Dude Busters said voting for them will make you feel better, and then Khali and Hornswoggle just screamed. So then we had the match. The Usos got 36% of the vote, so it sucks to be them. The Dude Busters got 10% of the vote, so it really sucks to be them.
No buys.
And Khali and Hornswoggle got 54%, so it sucks most of all to be us. They walked out of the interview room. Trent Barrett dubbed them, and I quote, legit mutants. So they came out. Khali did some stuff, and then he tagged in Hornswoggle, who missed a frog splash and got pinned.
1 minute.
Yeah. So the Usos, who nobody cares about, ran in and tried to attack, but the Hart Dynasty finally fought them off. So that's good. Lawler then announced that something was missing and left, as Michael Cole solemnly discussed The Undertaker.
No buys. There's going to be a lot of that coming up, so get ready.
There's a long string of this. The A-Team arrived.
No buys.
A little quicker reaction here.
Trying to see if I can get it quicker.
It was actually only Bradley Cooper.
No buys.
And he came out and said that Rampage and the other dude were not there. And that was really about all he said, and he left. And he was never seen again on the show.
No.
So King was backstage looking for someone. He was ambushed by B.A. and Murdoch.
No buys.
Who were disguising themselves with false mustaches.
No buys.
He said his crown had been stolen.
No buys.
Then they met the Bellas.
No buys.
who thought they were actors.
No buys. So far, so good.
Right. We had Santino versus Kozlov. Here is one.
No buys. Sorry.
Here's one where the fans, at least the majority of fans, got the voting right. 9% of them voted for, and I quote, a match.
No buys.
7% voted for arm wrestling.
More people wanted to see them wrestle than arm wrestle.
That's bizarre to me, too. And 84% voted for a dance-off.
This actually was buys.
This segment was great. Santino just danced like a geek like Santino does. Crowd loved him. Kozlov said something, I have no idea. And then Kozlov began to go. And everyone, Kozlov has moves. This man, far more talented.
Notice Vinny did not say he could dance.
No,
he's got moves.
He has moves.
Yes. He's an indie worker as a dancer.
Yes, that's the best way to put it. He
Yes.
has moves. So the crowd correctly identified him as the winner. Santino tried to do some moves with him, ended up eating a headbutt to the chest, and then caused a little soft shoe and smirked at him. This is the best moment in Raw history.
It was pretty good. Even Tony liked this.
It was great.
Yeah.
So we were told there would be a Divas match. It could be 6-on-6, which got 11% of the vote. A Battle Royal, which got 73% of the vote.
73%.
Pardon me. Well,
No
and
buys.
and the champion versus champion match at 60%. I didn't need to see two shitty Battle Royals in a week after the one on SmackDown, and all Battle Royals are pretty much shitty. But to be honest, none of these options are terribly appealing. So I expected this to be traumatic.
It was pretty traumatic for some of these girls.
I did.
Almost everyone died.
Pretty much. There
No
was at
buys.
one point.
That's his entire battle royal. No buys.
It got down to, I think, the final three, and there was a girl in there I had no idea who it was. It turned out to be Jillian.
I didn't know either, actually.
I was like, who is that in the purple? And the announced her when she was dumped, and that was that. And then Maurice won. So there you go.
After Eve got kicked full-fledged right in the face. That was a good one.
Backstage, Kane ran into Sheamus. He accused Sheamus of taking out The Undertaker. Sheamus says if he did, he wouldn't be shy about it. He'd shout it out like he did when he took out Triple H. Kane accused him of lying. So he had Sheamus.
This, by the way, was not a no-buy segment. It does not get the horn, because Sheamus called him fella.
Yes.
Always buys.
Especially when Kane is, a big red monster.
Yeah.
His character is in no way a normal human. But to Sheamus, he is just fella.
Yeah.
Yes. So Sheamus wrestled the fella. There were three choices. Kane got 88% of the vote. It did, precede the prior segment, so the fans were pretty much told who to vote for. Mark Henry got 3%, which he probably would have gotten regardless, and Evan Bourne...
Who were the 3%?
Mark Henry's immediate family? I did not want to see Sheamus and Mark Henry. Evan Bourne got
In a building with 1,000 people, 30 of them would have chosen Mark Henry.
Yeah.
Who are these people?
So Evan Bourne got 9%. Jerry Lawler said that he could not remember anybody else leaving Undertaker in a vegetative state. No shit!
You know that with 5 million viewers that watch Raw, that would mean that approximately 150,000 viewers would have wanted to see Mark Henry get the shot?
Indeed.
Who in the fuck are these people?
Indeed.
Yeah.
So they actually had a pretty fun match here. Kane kept going for the chokeslam, not getting it. He finally did, and Sheamus rolled outside and bailed. And I guess they couldn't... They clearly have plans for both guys, so it was all they could do, so there you go. We were told that Cena's potential opponents, were Jack Swagger, Rey Mysterio, and CM Punk.
But don't vote yet, they said.
Did they? I had to miss that part.
Yeah. Just be ready.
I guess you're just supposed
Finger on the trigger.
I guess you're supposed to consider your options at this point. Had a Wade Barrett promo. Said the result of NXT was never in question, and it was not the only accomplishment he would make. It was a start of something greater. He said, if you want to talk about achievements and accomplishments, talk to me in a week. He promised something would be done for the first time in WWE history. We had shit with Ted DiBiase and Virgil.
No buys. No buys. No buys. No buys. No buys. This whole segment sucked.
B.A. and Murdoch arrived. Uncle Irwin was there wearing a crown. Murdoch was gassed. I have no idea what the fuck this was.
I know what it was. No buys.
So next was a tag match where Truth and Miz will be on opposite teams and their partners will be picked by fan voting. For Truth's partner, 29% picked Christian. Of course, is the best worker of the options of the available picks. 17% got him picked MVP, so it sucks to be him. 54% picked Morrison, reuniting my most hated team of all time. God, I was pissed. And then, for Miz's options, there was Dolph Ziggler, who's alright, Regal, who's awesome, and Zack Ryder, clearly the worst of the three. Zack won.
Yeah. Well, first off, Cole screwed up and said Christian was also one of the picks, which baffled me. And then I just figured that people hate Miz. They wanted him to team with the biggest dork so that he'd lose, and they chose
the biggest dork.
Geek. Yeah.
So there you go. Regal came in last. That sucks. His reaction, by the way, they would show, will it be Dolph Ziggler? And Dolph would smirk or whatever. And the camera pans to the right, and there's Regal, and he's just fucking with his nails.
So
just very calm.
There's something about the visual of when they have all three guys, and they're all just standing shoulder to shoulder in the back.
Well, at least
baby
here,
faces and heels alike.
At least here, because it was for the different tag teams, you had 3 sets of baby faces and then 3 sets of heels. I really noticed it when they were doing Cena's opponent picking, and Rey Mysterio and CM Punk were standing 6 feet apart from each other. No interaction.
No violence, no anger.
No tension.
Nothing.
They didn't care.
Stupid.
Yeah. So we had
the
match.
It was no buys.
So we had Truth and Morrison versus Miz and Zack Ryder. Miz made fun of the fans for voting for stupid things. And they had a 3-minute match. Miz pinned Morrison with his move. There you go. Edge was backstage bitching to Brett about his one-armed match. Brett didn't care. Brett ran into Kane. Kane ran him down, saying he was he was jealous that the Undertaker's legend had surpassed his own, which is a fair point, actually. And thought Brett was behind it. Brett was... I don't know how to describe Brett's reaction. He was patient. He heard Kane out. He let Kane blow off some steam, and then Kane left, and Brett moved on with his life. So we got Edge versus Orton in a one-arm match. Edge ditched his sling like a minute in, got DQ'd. They brawled on the floor, and Orton got a concerto to his bad shoulder, so that should take him out of the match. We'll find out who fills in for him next week.
Why is this dumb shit taking bumps on that bad shoulder?
He's a dumb shit.
Idiot.
We had Evan Bourne met John Cena backstage, thanked him for choosing him as his partner last week. Cena thanked him for showing his toughness and energizing the crowd. He had Samantha doing backstage interviews. She asked Cena how he felt not knowing his opponent. I actually like this promo, at least when it started. He basically said his life had been chaotic forever, and then he sucked up to the fans, saying they were the best decision makers Raw had seen in months. And then it kind of turned into just a bunch of words promo. Murdoch came to.
No buys.
Mean Gene was there. Mean Gene was buys.
Yeah.
Mean Gene said the clown who replaced him... He said Murdoch had a chance to replace someone, then said the clown who replaced him was horrible. And the camera panned back, and there's Josh Matthews saying, I'm right here. Fantastic.
Poor Josh.
Now, once he said Gene is much better than him.
Yes.
And it is made clear here. So, Gene said the A-Team movie could be better than the show. Murdoch seemed happy about something, bailed. Josh wanted to talk to Gene, and Gene replied, and I quote, save it, loser. Hire Gene Okerlund.
Yes.
He was fantastic here. We had Drew McIntyre versus...
No buys. No buys. No buys. No buys. Drew McIntyre. No buys.
So, we were given 3 options of his opponent. There was Yoshitatsu, Goldust, and a mystery opponent who was doing... We saw his shadow doing Matt Hardy's pose. So...
And it turned out it was Matt Hardy.
It actually was Matt Hardy. So why didn't they just put him on TV?
Especially since they announced that he wasn't suspended on Raw.
Yes, this was TNA booking. Well,
I was hoping it would be Jeff in a swerve.
I was hoping it would be the Brooklyn Brawler in a purple shirt or something. Anyway, yeah, he won with 88%
Fat Lardy?
of the vote. Sure.
That's a new name for him on the board.
That works.
I didn't make that up, Matt.
Yeah. Don't blame us. Well, he did, to his credit, he did wrestle in a shirt this week.
Yes, he did.
So at least he's recognizing his strengths and weaknesses. So it went like a minute and maybe 2. Matt won with a twist of fate. So there you go.
You know the drill for this next segment. No buys. No buys. Quentin was backstage. DiBiase, Virgil,
he was not
IRS.
Quentin. He was B.A. Baracus.
Fuck this segment. Damn it.
Going to the ring for more of this. So in the commercial break, they brought B.A. out and handcuffed him to the ropes. And he said everybody had a price, including himself. Said somebody called and wanted B.A. served up on a silver platter, so he named his price and cashed it in. Out came Rowdy Roddy Piper.
I did at least like
looking
the idea.
for revenge for WrestleMania 1 and 2.
Yes.
24 years ago.
I did at least think that was funny and creative.
That was pretty good. He ranted about WrestleMania and the A-Team, said he silenced Mr. T. Ranted about the new movie, said he would not go see it. Threatened to kill B.A. Actually, up to this point, for this particular segment, I was fine. Then Dusty Rhodes, Gene Okerlund, and I think I wrote Trevor Murdoch, but it's Murdoch came out to make the save.
I wish it would have been Trevor Murdoch.
Well, Dick Murdoch would have been news. But, yes, they all came down to make the save. B.A. snapped the fake handcuffs. DiBiase charged him, ate a big spine buster. IRS got Dusty elbowed. Virgil took a Uranagi. Gene congratulated the A-Team.
No one cared.
No one cared at all about Dusty plugged the A-Team movie, said open on Friday night against SmackDown. And that was that, everyone. That was the last. They had Quentin Rampage Jackson on the show, and this is all we saw of him.
I had no idea what to do with Quentin Rampage Jackson.
It's astounding in hindsight.
Not really. I mean, seriously.
So.
Then we had the angle, at least.
The end. But I guess we're there, aren't we?
Yeah.
Josh interviewed Cena's opponents. Ray said to make it to the top, you got to go after the top dog on Raw. So they were each the top dog in their respective shows, and he could beat Cena. Ray is not the champion. He's like, I guess if Taker's out, he could be number 2, but made me laugh. Swagger said it was champion versus champion, Monday versus Friday, All-American versus the face of the company. He lived for matches like this. And then Punk just said Matthews asked stupid questions. The question is not why should he want to face Cena. The question was why would Cena want to face him. So he could only he can make Cena a better person, just like he did with Luke and Serena. And this is where I noted he was just standing there with Ray like 5 feet away and nobody cared. So the voting was Ray 32%, Swagger 23%, Punk 45%. I was stunned. I figured it would be Ray in a lock, but I guess people wanted to see John Cena beat up Punk. So they were having a fine match. There were "You Can't Wrestle" chants. I'm not sure who they were chanting this at, actually. I guess Cena. So he started making a comeback when who should come out in the ramp but Wade Barrett. No one knew really who he was or what to make of it. And he was out there for a bit, and then the NXT rookies attacked.
Yes.
All 8 of them from the original series.
Yes.
They immediately laid waste to CM Punk and company. I assume Serena just ran to the back. I didn't see what happened here. They surrounded Cena 8-on-1. They stalked him. They let it sink in how fucked this man was. John Cena stood in the ring, resigned to his fate, very unhappy about it. Went down fighting, got swarmed by 8 dudes. They beat the fuck out of him. They went outside. They destroyed furniture. They were tearing the ring apart, destroyed the announce desk, started attacking announcers, the ring bell guy, the ring announcer, random people I could not identify. They destroyed the ring, took the ropes off, pulled back the mats, exposing the boards. I was hoping that as rookies, they would just start tearing it down.
I was shocked that they tore down 2 of the ring ropes, but left the top rope, and Justin Gabriel with only a top rope did a 450.
Yes, I noticed that too.
That was scary.
For those of you who have not been in a ring, first of all, it's obviously easier to climb when there are more ropes hung up. Second of all, the ropes stabilize the post.
Yes.
It wobbles more when you take them down. So, yes, he's a very good athlete.
If anybody would know about putting a ring together, Vinny, it's you.
I have taken them down and put them up once or twice in my life, yes.
Yes. So
they beat the crap out of Cena. Very basic stuff, like 2 guys would pick him up and whip him into another one who would hit a clothesline. Danielson was screaming, "You are not better than me," which is true. The crowd was chanting, "You are losers." Did not really know who these men were. Wade hit his big slam. Gabriel hit the 450. Cena was stretched out, and they showed clips of women crying, which is when you know an angle works. And then, I swear to God, there was a shot of a dude crying. That I was not ready for. It took Cena to the back. He gave a thumbs up, indicating he was still alive, and the show ended.
And people booed as soon as he gave the thumbs up. There was great sympathy for Cena when his heel fans thought he was dead, but then when he revealed that he was in fact still alive, then they got really mad again. So his was a hell of an angle, and not really any follow-up whatsoever on NXT or SmackDown, but I'm not going to give up hope yet because the deal happened on Raw, and Raw is the most watched show. SmackDown was only seen by like 2.5 million people last week, like half the viewers of Raw. NXT is down around, 1.1 million, somewhere around there. So just if they've got a great angle for Raw, everything's good. If they don't, then I don't even know what the fuck the point of this was.
Right before I started watching Raw, it was over, long over by the time I started watching. And I don't know what motivated me, but I went to the front page of the Observer site, and the headline was something like, feedback to big angle at end of Raw. And I thought, hey, they got Quinton. Quinton and Cena are going to face off. It's going to be Austin Tyson 2. This is going to be awesome. So first of all, I got the bullshit with Quinton. So I was very disappointed. And I got the angle, and it was a really good angle. I don't want to say like I don't like it or it didn't work or it wasn't effective, but all I could think was John Cena's being beaten up by 8 goofballs. Just complete clowns.
Well, they're not all goofballs.
They have been for the past several months, except maybe Wade.
Well, sure.
The entire crew of NXT was made to look like such complete geeks for so many months that he was being beaten by, geeks.
It would have been better with long-term planning.
It would have been a lot better with long-term planning.
Well, don't forget that at one point, Ken Shamrock, when he was much younger, was beaten up by the Nasty Boys. Because no matter how much of a badass you are, 2-on-1, you're still in trouble.
8-on-1's even worse.
Yes.
I get that. I don't want to say it. Like I say, I don't want to slag this angle. I just want to say it was not as good as what I thought was going to happen. And there was a portion of the crowd chanting, "You are losers," who did not know who these men were or what to make of it.
Well, they didn't know what to think early on, but it went on so long, and they beat John Cena so badly and destroyed the ringside area to such a degree that people actually got into the angle there at the end. So
and they beat up everyone. The Justin Roberts being strangled with his own tie.
Now, granted, the teacher showing up unscathed on NXT and a second season just beginning, and there should have been some sort of follow-up on both SmackDown and NXT.
You would think.
But again, we'll give it a chance and see what they do on Raw, because Raw is more so now than ever the A show. So we'll see what they do there. But thumbs up angle, two thumbs down on the show. Show just sucked. In fact,
was really...
as noted on Observer Radio yesterday, and I was in fact thinking of this during the show, the show being as abysmal as it was actually made the main event angle even better.
It's
a strange, skewed...
They lowered the bar so low.
Yes. I would have preferred if they would have only lowered the bar for an hour and 45 minutes as opposed to two fucking hours and 45 minutes. Yeah. But what the hell can you do? So, there you go.